Welcome, I'm Pen, and in this month's tutorial, we're going to be tackling sprite stacking. Sprite stacking is when you take a 2D image and make it appear 3D. We'll be using this stack sprite viewer. I'll have the link below. It's free on itch. Specifically, we're going to be using this plugin here, which is for Aseprite, and you can go and get and download it, and we'll have a viewer right in Aseprite. So go ahead and download that plugin. It has a little guide. You just drag the file into Aseprite and restart it. It's fairly simple. So let's get started. We'll open up a new file and we're going to keep it small. We'll do 32 by 32. And once you have it installed, you can go to your scripts and go to Sprite Stack Preview. And this will open up this, and it's all we'll need right now. And I like to separate the canvas and make it a little bit bigger so we can view it over here. Maybe that's too big. And we're gonna make a bunch of layers. Let's do 10 for now. And the most important thing with stacking sprites is to visualize the image from above. So say if you're making a box, you want to visualize it right from the top. And I'm gonna use these guidelines so we can just keep everything symmetrical. So we're visualizing everything from the top. So this could easily be the top of a box, say. Maybe change the colors a little bit, but this could be a box. Say there's shadows here of a box. And when it's rotate, it rotates 360 and it's pretty smooth. Small here, let's zoom in. And what we want to do now is visualize each layer from the ground to the top of the box. So say this is the top, we want to visualize the ground first. So let's go ahead and delete this, and frame 1 will be your ground. So let's not worry about the colors of this box too much. But let's say this is your box, your bottom layer. So 1 pixel layer. Then if we go to frame 2, and let's say the box is 2 layers high. Frame 3 and 4, so 4 layers high. And now when we do the angle, nothing really changed because we have the Z distance, the height at 0. And most of the time you're going to be around 1. And you can see here, the box now is going to be rotating a little differently, but it's hard to see a difference because we're using the same color. So let's go ahead and now do frame 5 and have the top of the box, and let's just do it 2 different colors so we can get a better visualization of it. And now you can see it looks more like a box, and if we turn it, it's gonna rotate as it's 360, and it doesn't look great. The smaller the image, and we're using fairly small box, it's gonna be somewhat funky when it rotates, but still looks pretty cool. So now you can go ahead and add some color to these. Let's say we want something at the bottom here, some shadow all around the edges, and now when you rotate it, you get shadow all around the edges. Let's delete that shadow. And let's say you want kind of like planks going up the side here. So you would want to click 1 here, but now we need to switch the frame and kind of build it up, and you can see here we got 2. So we want the 3rd frame, so the 3rd height going all the way to the top, and then the 4th one. So now you got this kind of plank, and we could even change these, or perhaps change the top, and you can add some shadow in here. So now this box is turning. We don't have anything on the sides though. Just as simple, we can do the same thing here with the side on each side. And now if we rotate it, we'll have those kind of boards on the side. Still doesn't look like the greatest box, but we're just getting the idea down. And we'll go into more detail with the car itself and try to make it look like a car, which is it's a little more tricky, but a lot more fun than doing a box. Let's say this box or flower pot is done. You would just then export it, and to do, you click export here, and you can, this export is cool too. You can export it and it will just give you all the angles in a sprite, and you can use that in game, and it will kind of look 3D, but it won't be true sprite stacking. So sprite stacking in game, you would then want to take these 5 frames and delete these ones, and you want to export each frame as a separate PNG and then stack them in engine and offset them 1, since the distance is 1 here. So you'd offset them whatever this distance is, 1 or 2 if you're doing 2. And 2 just brings kind of funky because we're working with 1, so it looks a little wonky. So whatever you're working with, you want to keep that. Or when you export it, the PNGs, say if it's on a 32 by 32, you can offset it by yourself in here. So that one would go up 1, 3 would go up 2, this one will go up 3, and this one will go to the top here. And in the previewer, that's going to look funky, but if you go down to 1, you can visualize it, but it won't rotate perfect in here. Just how it's set up. Might be able to mess with something and do it differently, but just a little note there. So if you do it manually and stack it in game, you don't need to adjust the height or anything. So now that we did the box, let's go ahead and tackle car. And I've done a car example and I have it in engine here. So let's go ahead and check it out. And this is just a little tiny car. You can see here, a little red car. You see here, it looks 3D in this 2D world. We're just driving around. So we'll go ahead and create something like this. And in engine, this is really simple. We just have some car movement, but the sprite stacking is just rotated to the direction. And since they're all stacked on top of each other and have Z order, complement each other and not move around, it looks 3D. So let's go ahead and make a car now. So let's make the Z distance 1 again, and we'll do a little red car again, and let's turn on this vertical symmetry and make the bottom of the car. And this is kind of up to you if you want to do the bottom of the car with tires, or if you want to do the tires before on a separate one, something like that. But you can see here they're kind of floating a bit, so maybe make them a bit bigger, and it's up to you what you want to do. And you can see here the tires are even yet, so let's make them even. And you can see here we're rotating and it looks pretty cool, and maybe we can mess around with making it a little bigger than my other one. Let's turn off this for a second and just move these, little space here. Let's see how it looks with a little red around the edges as well. Maybe we could try a darker. Let's just go with that. So now we have our wheels on the bottom and the base of the car. So now we want to add height to the car. So easy way to do that, to just visualize the full shape, is draw another layer, and you can see it's gaining some height, and you can keep doing that until you're happy with the height of the car. Mess around with the angle. So we have 3 there, and then we can go ahead and experiment with maybe a top. Say the car has a roof there, and now it's already looking like a little toy car. Pretty basic one, but that's okay. And you can go back to these now and mess around with windshields, try to get those looking okay. Now that looks like a front windshield. You can do a little back one if you want, maybe a little more, maybe the exact same as the front, and that looks pretty cool. And we can also mess around with side windows. Let's see if those ones will fit. I think that might be right under the red roof the whole time, so let's try layer 3, and that might be blocked as well for the most part, but it does look like a little toy car or something. Let's add maybe, see how one more layer on the roof look. It's good. Let's go ahead and make one of these layers a bit darker and just see how that looks. Like that a little more. Very nice. Let's try to add something I didn't do in the other one is a little antenna, and that will be if we click right here. We can't just draw like that. It will look good on this frame, but when you turn it, it's going to look sideways the whole time. So what we have to do is draw each layer of this antenna. You can see here it gets broken up a bit, but it gives that cool retro feel that I kind of dig. And maybe we can even add like a little light there. Now it looks like a little remote control car, which is pretty cool. Let's mess around with the windows a bit. Maybe they need to be on this red. Yeah, perhaps on this red a bit more. It's a tad confusing at first. It's not always how you picture it in your head, but once you get going and get used to it, it's a little easier than you think. Maybe a window like that, maybe a front and a back. That looks okay. Maybe the back window. Let's try something like that. And I'd be pretty happy with this little thing to mess with in an engine. Let's add some more to these windows and see how they look. 3 might not do anything, but it looks pretty cute. You could make some cool cars and race with them for sure. This might cover the windshield. Might cover the windshield a bit. Maybe do a longer one at the back. But maybe we do back has a highlight here. Maybe all around. That looks pretty cool. Maybe the front too. I kind of like that. Maybe this front goes out a bit more. Now it looks more like a front. Pretty cool. The tires, I don't think you want to add more color to the tires, but let's try. Let's see what happens. Add a little highlight to the top of the tires, and that's not too bad. It's starting to look more like a boat shape, but hopefully you get the idea of drawing. It's a little different, not as free as just drawing a sprite itself. So let me show you the directions. Let's do 16. Start from angle 0. Use height modifier. Think yes, we want that. Let's see. And now, this is just stacking all these frames, but if you don't want to use sprite stacking in engine, you could export it like this, and you can get this little car with 16 directions. And if you only want 8, let's just do 8. start from angle 0, height modifier, and now we have 8 angles, and it will look less 3D, but it will still give you angles, and you can clean them up here. Like these tire ones are funky. I would probably do something like that, and same with these ones. But yeah, you get the idea. So let's do something a little more tricky. Maybe we'll do a small human, which is going to have no detail right now, but we'll do a small human and kind of show the process of this. Let's do the little feet, and then the legs will be going up. Let's do 4. Maybe let's bring them a tad closer since this little dude is small. Oops, bring them all in. Now we got 3 height. So let's do a blue shirt now, and we're gonna do it right on top. So now we have this blue shirt. We'll do, and it's 2 wide. So let's do another one. Stack it 3 times on here, and at some point you're gonna want to add an arm, hands. Those are too high, so maybe on first frame we get some hands. You can make them big, and then since the arms are going up, you want to stack here. So now we have, I used a different shade so we can visualize it a bit more. And then now you're on the 7th one. Let's do a different blue, and then let's do a head, and again it's just going to be right on here, and you could do it bigger, big head like that. Let's just do 4 and do it 3 so it stacks up, and let's rotate it and see what's going on. So it's cool. If you wanted a 3D little world and you had little dudes running in, I don't know how harsh it would be in engine if you had a bunch of sprite stacking things going on at once. Haven't tested it, haven't looked into it too much. It's probably been done before, but yeah, cool. We could give him a little hat as well, red hat, and maybe it's a baseball cap or something. So a new empty frame. Let's do that red again because that one's gonna go a bit higher. Looks like a hat, kind of looks like a little hairdo, but you get the point. How I think I'd tackle this is I wouldn't do the legs, I would just do the bodies, and then I can make it a bit bigger. And the hands I think I would keep, but for sure the body and the head I would have that rotating, and then I would have kind of a different sprite for the legs altogether. That would maybe be 8 directions, and I would just plan those accordingly. We can add maybe a sword, or let's just see a sword. So a sword would be going out. Use a white. So at the hands where this starts, perhaps you could have a sword coming out like this, and let's see how that rotates. And it was that simple, and you can have kind of handle on it. Something like a sword is simple because you only need, it's so flat, you just need that one kind of frame where it's just all along here. If you did, say you stacked it twice, it would look thicker, might look better, and you could try stacking it 3 times. Now you got this big chonky sword, which looks cool in its own. And you could make new layers, and just now that you have the base, say you name this the body frame, and you can play dress up. Say if you want, I don't know, armor. Let's put armor here, and you could have armor on the body. Make this a little body. You don't need it to come out, I don't think. I think that would look weird. So we just need to do it on all of this. So now it has this kind of armor going on the frame of the body, missing some back ones, but that's okay. And same thing with the head. You can put a helmet on it, and like I said, once you get used to it, it's not as complicated as it originally seems. Just like everything, you just got to keep messing with it. Now you got this helmet with a hat on, and it looks pretty cool. I wish we could have a background. I don't think that will work out very well though. You can see here when we add a frame, it's factoring that in, so it has this base. So let's take this, and I'm just gonna put, okay, so we get a little tiny that will rotate as well, which is cool. We zoom out. So this little dude looks cool. I'm pretty happy with it. Let's do a little tiny, do a new empty frame. I want to do a kind of shadow underneath. I just think visualizing cool with the little shadow. Then we can rotate it. Shadow, I wouldn't rotate in engine, so let's make it more circular. I wonder if I can just actually delete all that and make a perfect circle one underneath. And I like that. He's pretty cool. And that's 14 frames, 12 because I have these ones in it as well. But I dig that. I really do dig this character. I would like to mess around with a little prototype sprite stacking a bunch of characters and see how many I can do. I might do that. Let's add the sword. I think the sword, where's the sword? This one. Just see how that looks when you rotate. A little shine. Looks okay. But it would be cool to mess around with swords and do. Let's try a sword like this. We'll just, and maybe in the middle one, let's add, oops, undo if I can. Add, oops, get out of the paint bucket. Just see how something like this looks. Oh yeah, dots. So that's what I thought. Now you got this cool kind of dot, and if we go on the top one and I think if we erase something like that in the bottom one, we erase this. We should get a little, yep, as I expected, a little kind of sword. So this is cool. And I wonder if we name this sword, this will be the armor. So now if you wanted to make it a game with a lot of customization, you could take off the armor, put on the sword, put on the armor, and let's duplicate the sword and let's see how little addition layer works. If I haven't tried this, blur it out. Probably wouldn't do this. If I was doing a blur, I'd do it in engine, but this might look cool. Looks pretty cool. Let's just try one again. But sword glow, I dig. Let's turn it down a tad to 42, and pretty cool character. So I didn't expect to do a little character. I thought I was going to do a boat, but I do this little character and I'm glad we did it. So with that being said, we're 33 minutes almost. I'll leave it at that. If everyone is interested, I will do a little bit more complex, a little bigger character, and maybe even rig it up in an engine to showcase it. I'll have that done beforehand so we don't waste time. I think the tutorial will be focused on drawing it. I haven't seen many sprite stacking tutorials on the drawing process. Yeah, let's do one last thing. I have to delete those. Export this little dude and do 16 frames, because this would be also a nice way to jumpstart your direction process. Again, don't mind that one. But now you have all the directions for this thing. 16 directions is quite intense, but it's a nice base. So I will save these and have them on Patreon or wherever you get an itch. Yeah, thank you so much for joining me. It's been fun doing this little character, and I'm glad sprite stacking is a thing to mess around with, and I'm glad I can share it with you guys. So till next time, see ya.